Hello and welcome to the Comic Book Van Podcast. My name is Angel Hernandez. With me as always is Stephanie.
Hello.
And today we have the much talked about, often talked about, scarily talked about amount of times, Carlos Vasquez with us.
Hey everybody. Woo!
And we're happy to have him here because god damn we need to mix it up. As always, we're going to start off with a game, and I wanted to do 1, 2, 3, but that's not going to pan out. So we're going to do Would You Rather.
Okay.
Alright, let me pull them.
And while Stephanie's going to look those up, I'm just going to remind you that you all dropped off giving us emails or commentary of any kind, and worse yet, half of you stopped listening when we moved from SoundCloud to YouTube.
Maybe we need to give a way to put up on SoundCloud that we moved. They might not know we moved. We just stopped in there.
You know, I'm thinking about removing them from there and just keeping the newest one on SoundCloud. And having directions over to the other pages.
Well, is there a way to put instructions in SoundCloud that if you want to listen to the cast, can you just go to YouTube?
I can put links in there that would send them to YouTube.
There you go. Yeah, that would help.
And I think like I said, I'm just going to clear them out and just start putting the newest podcasts up there. That would probably be to our best benefit.
Alright, well I have a couple here. I've got a big list of things.
Okay, sweet. Well, you will throw them out there and just throw them out there to us.
Alright. Would you rather be blind or deaf?
This is an often asked question.
Yes, but it's a good easy one to start with.
Would I rather not hear things or see things? That's really the question.
That is a hard one because it's more tolerable in some aspects than the other.
Right.
See, the thing is, I love to draw. I'm an artist, and I can be deaf and work, but at the same time, I only work better when I'm listening to music.
Deaf and work, and then you don't notice the truck that's backing up into you when you're sweeping the floor.
You know what? I would go for just being deaf. I mean, because it's still, vision is very, 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 very useful.
Yeah.
I can read signs. I can look at stuff. It would suck that I can't hear stuff, but hey, at least I can see that oncoming traffic.
Well, when you're watching, yeah, there's that. When you're watching movies, you put subtitles on, you can kind of make the music in your head.
There you go.
Kind of like when you're reading a novel or something, you're making the places and everything in your mind.
You're right.
And for me too, I taking into consideration this one that most of the ways that men derive pleasure. You know what I'm talking about, pleasure.
Yeah.
Folks, visually, we are visually oriented.
Imagine watching. Imagine hearing.
Just hearing.
Just radio porn. It's like, oh yeah, I'm excited. But it's all just noises.
Am I feeling your boobs or am I feeling a pair of sponges?
Oh yeah, I can visualize that in my head.
I hope you can tell the difference. Wow.
Is this water? Are these water balloons?
It's like the 40-year-old virgin.
It's not like a bag of sand.
Like a bag of sand, just drag.
Like a bag of sand.
Alright.
Alright, the next one.
Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
Ooh.
And I guess it's up for our ideas of where the third eye and where the third arm are going to be.
If I had a third eye,
where would you put it first?
Whatever, man. I know what you're thinking already.
Yeah, well, if I want to use my imagination.
If I had a fourth eye. Oh, no. This went south fast.
Oh, man.
If I had another visually oriented eyeball, I would put it right between my two eyes, just a little bit further up, and I would be the best TN cosplayer in existence.
Oh my god, yeah. But I don't know. Would that affect your vision? Because you know how you have two eyes, centered next to each other, and then the third one right above it. Is that going to mess up how everything looks?
Your brain's got to be hardwired different.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to take in three perspectives.
True.
Now.
But would I be able to see something? Would I see color differently, more amazing than any other person alive? Yeah, but I don't know what the benefits having three arms are. Honestly,
I would go for a third eye, but only because there's no fourth arm like Goro. Then I would be the best cosplayer ever.
You make the fourth one out of paper mache.
It would be so uneven. But yeah, I would go for the third eye, but I would put it behind my head. That way I can see my enemies. I would just like cut the hair around it.
It would suck wearing a hat, and
well, no, I don't really. I'm not really a hat person, so.
Okay.
But I can always see behind me.
I guess that would they'd be worse.
I already got two eyes in front of me. I can just close them and I can see the back. What's going on behind me? So.
What about you?
There we go.
Me?
Yeah.
I'd go with the third eye.
That'd be really hard to get a pair of glasses for you.
Well, the other one's just gonna. Well, maybe.
That's right. We didn't discuss that. Are you gonna be blind too? Third
maybe,
eye blind?
Well, maybe the third eye isn't blind. Maybe it's like the source of your psychic powers and all that. Like it opens up only on certain occasions where you must focus all your energy or something. Maybe I'll have a magic third eye.
Okay. Hey, that was not part of it. I would have chosen a third eye blind.
I can have a magic third arm. It comes right out of my chest.
Well, if you had a third arm, where'd you put it?
Exactly. I don't know where the hell I put it.
That's exactly. That's why I said 4 arms. It would be proportional.
Like a kickstand.
I know where to put the third. The third
put
arm.
it right in front and just be like, "Yep, stab big." Always have it tucked into my pants.
I don't remember if I've asked this one before, but
then again, let's say you're playing a console and you have a control in front of you, you can always use your third arm to get like chips or a soda, feed yourself, pet the cat.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess you have a cat.
Yeah, that'd be the most optimum use.
Yeah,
or I'd be
you
a
ignore
badass
your cat
guitarist.
for too long.
Oh, that
Two
is.
left arms.
That would be cool.
You could actually play that double neck guitar.
Still third magic eye.
Third magic eye.
Like shoot a laser off of it or
I
something?
can't remember if I asked you this one.
Just throw it out there. We'll see what you did.
Would you rather have your body found on a pile of sex toys or a pile of drugs?
Jesus.
What do you want to go down?
Choose your
as,
poison.
Your last moment of what people think you did.
You know what? If they found my body in a pile of sex toys, honestly, I think people would be invested in covering that up. They would just like that. Let's not let anybody know about this.
Well, what kind of sex toys?
It's not specific.
There's a difference between. There's a difference between like.
Okay.
Can I be specific?
No, because honestly, you either have something in something or you have something in something else. There's no good ending to that.
Yeah. Oh, you're like, oh, I didn't know he was into that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's cover this up.
Okay, yeah.
I would go in a pile of drugs. I don't do drugs like hard. I don't even do drugs at all. But if I die and I see all those, at least I tried all of them, and then there I go. Oh, so that's what crack tastes like.
Yeah, I guess drugs would be tragic.
Yeah.
And sex toys would be like
embarrassing.
Really, what were they doing? Okay, and then the last one.
One more before we go.
Is your favorite one?
Oh, do you want me to throw this at him?
I have it right here.
All right, just
All right.
ask him.
So one of the worst ones I've ever read in my life. Would you rather watch your parents have sex every day of your life or join in once to stop it?
Wait, say that again? Wait.
Look at the silence and the sound waves.
Wait, say that again?
Right. Would you rather watch your parents have sex every day of your life or join in once to stop it?
Oh, God. I don't have an answer for that. I don't think I can give you one.
I almost died. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think.
Oh, God, I don't think I can give you an answer for that. That's horrible either way.
Yeah, I was thinking about it myself, and I was just like, nope.
No, I'm not going to answer that.
Nope.
Yes, it's the question.
So, in other words, it's just to ask, make the person think about it for a second to get the disgusted look on their face.
And then you just laugh about it.
And then just laugh about it. My favorite was looking at the silence on the sound wave. There was a space with nothing. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on now.
That is horrible. Oh, God. It's almost like the one I told you about, Jimmy Carr.
What did he say? Yeah, you're talking about this comedian.
It's similar. This comedian Jimmy Carr. He has a stand up, and he likes to ask morally, awkward questions. So he asked the entire his entire crowd, what would you if I had like 10 snipers all around the theater and they're all pointing at your mom, would you have sex with your dad to save your mom?
No, it was the other way around.
No.
They were all pointing at your dad.
Oh no, yeah. Would you have sex with your dad to save your mom?
Either way it works, it's still just. Yeah.
And then the guy says, the girl says, no, I wouldn't. And then everybody goes, ah. And then he says, why are you guys booing? This is a person that's saying he would not have sex with his dad. Either way you look at it, it's horrible.
Nobody needs to think of sex and their parents in the same sentence.
No, they don't even go in the same sentence.
I like to think that they just don't have it and they don't like it.
You just appear magically, like
exactly.
the stork brings you.
Keep you the stork alive. Okay. Moving on to the comic book news here. I showed both of you guys the trailer for Usagi Yojimbo, the stage play, earlier today. What did you think of it? And have you ever even heard of Usagi Yojimbo before?
I heard of that character, I think, to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But also I seen that I heard about that character before.
It's kind of hard to miss. I mean, like even if you just pick up a comic book anywhere, if you used to, like me, you used to read Wizard magazines. I don't know if you ever read that one, but there would be like all different kinds of comic book stuff littered throughout, and people talking about stuff like that, the Flaming Carrot and Sandman and Preacher. Yes, is a character with a big flaming carrot head.
Oh, I thought it was an actual carrot. That would have been hilarious.
These are the indie comics. These were the early indie comics before, what we have today. So they have a play over there in the... I forgot the name of it.
It's the UK?
Always happens. I know it's in the UK. I know what the UK is.
Friends, let's go watch it.
I wish we could go watch it.
We're going to go take a trip. We'll be back.
The last day is going to be January 4th. It's getting rave reviews. I'm only hoping that maybe they want to take it on the road sometimes. This is the selfish part of me. If there's something out there that exists, especially overseas or somewhere in our market, I want it. At least release a DVD or something,
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
They had a pro shot there. So, But then again, we've been waiting for the Book of Mormon something, too, for a while.
Oh, I haven't even looked. I would assume they have a DVD. It's back wherever.
Wasn't the Book of Mormon playing here near?
Pantages.
At the Pantages, yeah.
She saw it.
This summer. I think it's over the summer. I watched it.
I heard it's raunchy. I heard it's, just...
It's the filthiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And that's saying something.
They actually have every song of the Book of Mormon in YouTube.
Oh, do they?
But it's only the song. Oh. And I heard every single song of them, and wow.
They're funny, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard
that song with the I don't even know how the play goes, but where they do that, where they say that African word.
That phrase?
Yeah, that phrase.
Yeah.
And then, what does that mean? Like, fuck you, God.
Oh, man.
That was horrible.
I heard Kevin Smith talking about it on Hollywood Babylon like a year ago already. And he was mentioning a song on there where it's like Joseph Smith, and he's like, I'm going to fuck this baby. And then the song is like, don't fuck the baby.
What? That one I didn't hear.
Maybe that's not a full song. You might just be part of it. But yeah, there was that thing.
There was a line in there, I guess. Where
Like, you don't do that.
He took his daughter there to see it. It was like, at the time, 13-year-old daughter. She's like, both me and her would go to my wife and be like, hey, Mom. She'd be like, what? I'd be like, don't fuck the baby.
Oh, God. It's charming, though. I mean, like, the beginning of the song, the ding-dong, that's
really good, too.
Yeah.
I think
we should find it. I should show you that. I never actually thought about showing you the music.
I wanted to watch... I mean, here's the thing about it. The musicals. I don't enjoy the music on its own. To me, it's like half of the equation. It's not enough. To me, it just sounds like, well, there's some talented people singing right now. It might be a little funny, but without the visual context, what do you got?
Yeah, you're just more of a visual person. For me, I can picture a whole thing around it. So
well, I mean, if you want to show... I don't know if they have it on YouTube or anything, but if you want to show it to him, I think... the Tonys opened up with the Book of Mormon.
Oh, at least the opening numbers there.
Yeah, the opening numbers there. It's really good. I like it.
Okay. You watched the Tonys?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, no, I don't watch the Tonys.
I've watched the opening sequence for the past few years when
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris does the opening numbers. His opening numbers are hilarious.
Yes.
They're the best ones.
Yes. Actually, that's the only reason I don't watch the Tonys. The only reason I know about that is because on YouTube, I'm always on YouTube. I saw all the openings with Neil Patrick Harris. It's freaking funny.
I was gonna say, man, what are you also like curled up on the couch, twirling your hair, watching the Tonys?
With a glass of wine, chocolates, bonbons.
With a mojito.
Mojito.
Margaritas.
Oh god.
Jesus, we went really far with this, but yeah.
Anyways, Yojimbo.
Funny samurais, people. Come on, let's talk about what's important in life
Get
here.
back to the point.
I don't want to depress anybody, so I'm not going to talk about what Stan Sakai has been going through these last couple of years, but I've been seeing updates from him lately. He looks pretty happy now. He's going on hikes. He's working on comic books again. Or he honestly, he never really stopped. But he seems to be back in the flow of things, given, everything he's been through.
His wife, right?
His wife. But the thing is that I think that it had been going on for so long that at this point he's probably just happy that she's not in pain anymore.
Yeah. Because
it's horrible. It's a horrible thing to go through. It took him 2 years, the whole ordeal.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Let's see. I have no segue here. So next thing, I showed you guys. It's a page or two from the Andre the Giant comic book. It's called Andre the Giant: Life and Legend, published by First Second. The art and story by Box Brown. Yes, there's a person out there named Box. His name is Box.
B-O-X?
B-O-X. Box
Wow.
Brown. Like a brown box.
I don't know, he sounds like an old-timey type of fighter.
What is his sister named? Plastic Bag?
No, they're I was just thinking, man, was his name translated from Spanish? Why is that why it's backwards? Box Brown.
Box Brown?
Like Casablanca.
Oh. But even then it wouldn't make sense. Like, imagine somebody's being named Caja Cafe. It's like nobody names their child that. That's Caja Cafe. That's the actual translation for a brown box. And it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound any better. Okay, just checking. Pretty cool comic book. I heard that a lot of people, when they're talking about Andre the Giant, they like to think, Hulk Hogan body slammed him and stuff. And they talk about how much alcohol he can drink. This one kind of humanizes him. It takes a look at the lighter side of his story. And talks about a lot of how much he loved wrestling. Were you a wrestling fan ever in your life?
At one point, yeah, but
What kind of stuff did you like?
It was back when it was WWF.
Oh, right on.
Just before it turned into WWE.
Okay.
And actually, you know what? No, I'm lying. I was even way back, like when I was a kid. We used to watch what was it? Like Ultimate Warrior and
oh man, okay.
That's way back.
Yeah, no, I
but then,
watched that too, though. Yeah.
But then we moved to Mexico for 5-6 years. Then we came back, and then I just lost touch with it. Then again, when it was The Rock and Triple H.
That's when I came back too. Yeah. I lost touch with it probably around the time when you guys were leaving, like when Hulk Hogan left, when Ultimate Warrior left from WWF to WCW. I didn't even know WCW was a thing.
I mean, neither.
So it didn't occur to me these guys went somewhere else or they existed elsewhere.
Yeah, even with Hulk Hogan and everybody's it didn't catch my attention. It's no, it's not WWF.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
Well, I guess that was it for me too. I was 14 in middle school, and then I heard about The Rock. I kept hearing about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you should watch this show because of this. And that.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was so good.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just curious because I don't know too many wrestling fans. I'm still a wrestling fan to this day. Son of a bitch, banging on the table with a live microphone. All right, let's move on here. Stephanie was telling me about a after-school comic book program. This woman, Vicky R. Lane, based in New Jersey, she has a 3-month course It's an after-school program. It's $150 per student, but here's what they do. She teaches kids how to plan, draft, and draw, essentially make an entire completed comic book. It's a course designed to teach kids how to make comic books.
Cool.
So I think at $150 to get...
That is a steal.
That is a steal, absolutely. I wish that there was something like that when I was a kid. I mean, I don't know if we would have been able to afford it, but
That's another question.
I would have dreamt about it every day, which is a lot of what I did when I was a kid.
Well, how long is the course?
3 months.
Oh.
$150 for 3
wow.
months. Yeah, man.
That is good.
You're getting more than your measure. I mean, just the experience. I mean, it's something that you'll take with you. You can do this later on if you want to. She teaches them creative storytelling along the way as well. Yeah, I wish that I were a kid, and I wish that I could do this.
That's my thought whenever I see something like programs that I wish I could have taken advantage of. It's like, oh, I wish that was going on when I was a kid, or at least I could go back in time.
Or at least if I knew about it as a kid.
Have I told you about it, or have you heard about the this website called idraw.co?
Nope.
The book is called I Draw Comics. Big comprehensive book with practice pages and stuff like that. It basically, it's for amateurs and professional comic book artists alike. You refine your skills. It could teach an amateur to more or less do the same thing, and it's about a $25 book. I've been wanting to get one for the longest time. They cover all aspects. Like there's a comic book one, there's a cars one, and there's a shoelaces one as well for like the finer details. So I heard they're going to expand the line over time, but I really heard a lot of good things about this little book.
Gotta look into it then.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. And it really sucks being sick, like when your nose is running like this. Ugh.
Being sick in general is just bad.
Well, nobody can hear you. I mean, nobody can see you, so you could just say, oh, I'm doing cook lines. Anyways.
That's a lot.
That's much better.
Anyways.
There was an artist on DeviantArt. I showed you guys some of his work earlier. Really good work.
His work?
Her work. Sorry, excuse me. Artists can only be men.
I know. What's wrong with you? Of course.
It's like that line from the movie last night.
We watched the interview. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Oh, I want to associate.
We are going to bring it up in just a second. There is one line in the movie
It fits perfectly with
where
that.
James Franco was like, dude, this is happening now in 2014? Come on. Women are smart now.
What? Alright, we'll go back to that because I haven't seen that movie. But let's talk about this girl first, but that's funny.
Apparently she's German, or at least she's based in Munich. And I read an article about her, and I had to look her up on DeviantArt to find samples of her work. Beautiful work. She's a very talented artist. I mean, especially when she decides to lay it down and do something more traditional, or just do solid line work. Do solid line work in color because they're mostly digital artists on there. It's really good. And I liked her DC Comics based work. There's lots of Batman stuff, and there's stuff from Young Justice, which nobody even remembers anymore. Young Justice, well, some people do, but the cartoon version was different than the
I heard it's really good.
The cartoon?
That cartoon.
They canceled it, but it was really good.
I wonder why.
Because they don't know how to make a cartoon that...
It's not completely moronic for children?
That could appeal to a broad fan base.
Man, they need to get Paul Dini in there.
Huh? What'd you say?
They need to get Paul Dini in there.
Yeah, I believe he's actually the head now, I believe, of DC Animation, of Warner Brothers Animation's department.
What?
Anyways, I'm sorry. Yeah, so their fan art was really pretty, but then there was some interesting ones as well, featuring Superboy and Robin. In particular, one of them touching the other one inappropriately. If you just do a quick search in DeviantArt for something that you like, type in Harry Potter, type in Naruto, type in Dragon Ball, you will more than likely find some really well rendered art, 50%, and then 50% of it is gay fanfic.
Oh my.
And I mean, I did take a little bit of issue with this, because and that's my question for you guys is that, do you think it's right? Do you think it's morally right to take characters that aren't yours, that in some cases appeal to children, I want to extend this to My Little Pony as well, because there is
There's a lot
sexualized stuff out there of them. Yeah. And do that to them, sexualize them, put them in your gay fanfic and stuff like that. I mean, I understand this is for the creator. I also understand that I don't have to look at it, so I have the option of turning away from it. But then if you're like going on a website and you're expecting to just find some cool artwork or something, you know, do I really need to see Goku stroking Vegeta's chest gently while they're both of them naked, muscles rippled, and
maybe if they kept it in a different section, that would be better, because, I mean, you really can't tell them to stop doing it, because then it's the whole freedom of speech, blah, 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 kind of thing, and it kind of gets complicated
as
there.
an artist, I can see that too. I wouldn't want someone to stifle me, tell me what I can't do. But maybe there is, or maybe DeviantArt is that place where it's just
maybe it is just
all
open. It's like Tumblr
there.
kind of thing. But like I was saying earlier, it's my sister and her friends that said, yeah, you have to watch out what you find on DeviantArt.
13 and 14-year-old girls going on there searching for stuff, pictures that they want to see.
Or they put, I know my sister's friend puts up her own artwork, because you can put it all up there. So you'll pull up a ton of other stuff. So like I said, maybe if they had a filter on it, it'd be better.
Yeah.
So DeviantArt doesn't. How does DeviantArt work? It doesn't have like filters, like, or
it does, but I mean,
subsections or something like that.
You're literally one click away from the full unedited image, basically. So if there's a warning sign out there, if you click on that, boom, on the next page you get the whole thing. For me, I see warning signs, and I'm inclined to look at it now. I really want to see what's behind that thing. And sometimes it's fairly innocent, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's horribly emotionally scarring. Even for a 30-year-old man.
Well, I guess everybody has their own thing. What you're saying is like, it's disturbing to see Goku and Vegeta stroking each other's chest or whatever. But there's people out there that like that stuff. So.
Or Frodo and Samwise, or
Frodo,
or Harry Potter and Draco. You know.
I mean, because that's the thing. You always had the option of like not seeing that. It's like you can just go look for it.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I agree. I just needed to maybe hear it spoken out loud, because I mean, yeah, it's not for me. That's a good thing about the internet, and about you can find everything, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find it. You'll find other stuff, but you don't have to look at it. That's also the bad thing about the internet. You can find anything that you're looking for.
But are you interested in this too? Maybe.
And everything you weren't looking for.
You get that and more.
It's interesting to note that Goku does have muscle all over every part of his body. It's hard to tell when he's wearing the gi and everything, you know?
Yeah. I remember a story, something about that. I don't forget where I heard it. Who's the creator of Mario?
That same guy, the Nintendo guy.
Yeah.
The one who also created Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. He said that one time they showed him a picture of Mario and Luigi making out.
He's like,
yeah, and he replied back, "Please don't do stuff like this. They're brothers." And then,
they're brothers.
So maybe to the artist, it's more of a problem.
I mean, I don't think he got really upset, or man. He's like, "Come on, dude, that's just weird."
Yeah,
They're brothers. And think about it, Mario's like very family friendly.
Yes, he's a family friendly.
Yeah, it's an image, but again, he can't stop nobody from doing that.
You were mentioning before we got on podcast air, that you showed your girlfriend. Was it? She said she didn't believe that there was like anime porn.
Oh yeah, there's like I showed my girlfriend some. I told her, well, you know, there's actual people that draw pornography about like cartoons, right? She's like, no, there isn't. Let me show you. She's like, oh my god, that's insane. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not into that stuff, but I mean, if there's like so much of it out there, they obviously have.
There's a lot more out there than you think.
Yeah, they obviously have.
On the internet, they call it Rule 34, and that is, if it exists, there is porn of it.
Oh, God. I never heard of that, but it makes sense.
You learn a couple of things when you're on 4chan.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know. I used to frequent that site every now and then. That's where I got most of those meme stuff. That's where memes were born, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
If you ask me.
I go on there sometimes too, but it's like, it's just weird stuff that I see there.
Just good old fashioned porn for me.
Well, the thing is, like the people in 4chan, they just put the oddest, weirdest things. Don't hack me, and it's just so weird.
Nice hackers. Yes.
And so like no, I eventually had to get off from it because it's just like
being on there after a couple minutes, you feel like I need a bath.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I have my brother Oscar. He told me to like, dude, don't click on like whatever this because
if you're not a complete sicko, you're not comfortable on there.
Yeah, there is stuff that will haunt you in your dreams. That's what I'm saying.
And then none of it on there has a filter. So literally, you're just scrolling down, and you're just like, "Oh, what the heck?
How did that appear?"
Yeah, basically. Okay, so moving on. I did want to ask you a couple of questions about comic book characters. We're gonna ask who would win this fight: Captain America versus Batman. Both of them are Marvel and DC respectively. Pretty much human.
Are they like the counterparts of each other?
It would be like in
a way, right?
Like think about it this way.
Well, Captain America only has super strength on Batman.
He does
Besides that,
he's superhuman agility. So basically, he is, yeah.
And he has different. He has different fighting styles too.
He absolutely does. According to in the case of Batman, he is supposed to have known every form of martial arts on the planet.
And he's basically a ninja.
He's the world's
I forget that sometimes.
He is like a ninja. Yes, he trained with ninjas. He is the world's greatest detective. He's incredibly intelligent. Multiple resources, multiple weapons in his belt. He's got in his ear. He has help as well from former Batgirl Barbara Gordon. At least in the old continuity, he did. In the new 52, I'm not sure quite how it works, but considering all these things, for the most part. And then you look at Captain America, he's an enhanced human being. He has reflexes that are beyond normal. He has more durability than Batman. He has a weapon constantly on him in the form of a shield.
They keep saying, like, how is it that Captain America can throw the damn shield and then get it back? Well, supposedly it's because he is so focused on what he's doing because of his powers. Whenever he throws it, he knows where to throw it so it can bounce back to him.
Yes, exactly.
So you still have two intelligent people.
Yes.
Who are very well equipped. That'll be a very hard fight.
They've only actually had one showdown, and it was in the Avengers versus the JLA. It's a comic book miniseries, 4 issues long, illustrated by George Perez. Issue number 2, they meet on the building, and here's the funny thing about this. It's the JLA versus the Avengers. You have Thor and Superman duking it out in the sky. You have all these different superpowers, people flying around each other. Batman's just on a building. Captain America jumps down onto the building with Batman, and they're like just two normal guys on there just having fist fight. Like, this is the most important thing going on right now.
It's like in the Avengers movie when Black Widow and what's-his-face are just stuck on the building shooting
like
at
Black
things.
Widow and Hawkeye.
And they have to make him look important, so it's just doing stuff.
Well, people are flying around and busting
They look
things
important
up.
until Superman's like, bitch, fight on the rooftop.
I mean, because it's all... Well, but Batman is like street level type of fighting. And Captain America, I mean, he can't fly either, so...
No, they are stuck on the ground, essentially.
I would give it to Batman.
You'd give it to Batman?
Yeah, well, besides the fact that he's like my favorite character, it's just that he will eventually find a way to beat Captain America. And he's really strong. I mean, there's just like, there's so much stuff going on. Okay, I like Captain America too, but I just like, to me, it's like...
He's too much of a goody two-shoes. Like, he wouldn't play dirty at all. Batman, I wouldn't hold him against him if he's losing.
Yeah, that's true.
To do something
Did
to make him
you see him in freaking... Oh, you haven't seen it. Remember Batman Returns? with Catwoman and the Penguin, the old movies.
Yes.
Is at some point
It's on Netflix right now. You can stream it.
Yeah, we actually were talking about watching that. At some point, Catwoman, who was a scientist who somehow rose from the dead thanks to cats, just starts
super powered kitties.
Egyptian cats, maybe?
No, she just starts whooping his ass, like coming back from the dead. Somehow she learned kung fu, and he's just getting his ass kicked so badly by her that he like shoots some like acid or something at her to get her away from him.
Wow.
I don't know why I brought that up anymore. I lost my train of thought, but.
Batman playing dirty?
Batman, but yeah, you're right. He wouldn't put it that beneath him if he needed to. He would do something to get the advantage. Yeah, I throw my vote in for Batman as well, but just by a smidge.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a very, very hard fight. They would both come out bloodied and battered.
I mean,
so too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I think if they made a movie about a fight between Captain America and Batman, the public will end up winning because that is such a freaking badass fight.
We all win in that situation.
Yeah.
Everyone's just standing around the streets, watching.
Okay, and fight number 2. Since you're here, I wanted to ask you. It's kind of appropriate. Superman versus Goku.
Superman.
I have
Superman?
absolutely nothing to say on this one.
You take Superman.
I take Superman.
Okay. Superman, as far as we know, he's got extremely durable skin, nigh invincible, could fly, heat fission, ice breath.
He's basically indestructible.
He's basically, but he has been hurt before and he has been caused to bleed by opponents of a really high caliber like Doomsday. And he is also weak against magic. Goku has displayed also near invincibility. Bullets, bombs, most man-made things can't harm him. Only basically extremely high levels of energy could ever harm him. That's in his normal state. He's fairly invincible. The Super Saiyan ability takes that and multiplies it, and Super Saiyan 2 takes that further, and Super Saiyan 3 takes that further. Assuming in this fight that Goku can go Super Saiyan 4. Let's just go all the way ridiculous with it. And Superman is completely powered by the sun. So these guys are slugging it out. You picture at the end of that, you think Superman wins?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I got my reasons.
What does he got? What does he got over him?
Look, the thing is this. Unless Goku can get a hold of some kryptonite or get Doomsday to beat his ass, or he can turn off the sun, I don't think Goku would win. He would be a really bad, like really amazing fight. But how many times has Goku died?
Quite a few, I guess. Maybe
See,
2
and
times.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Goku, what's his name? Superman has died, but he hasn't died.
No.
Goku actually went to heaven, and he's been to hell. He's actually been dead more than once.
Yeah, that's true.
More than twice.
Yeah.
He comes back because of some magical Dragon Balls, but still, he's been to heaven. I don't think freaking...
I don't think Superman knows what the other side looks like.
I don't think Superman has ever like actually died because he always comes back in some weird way. And I mean, he will always be alive as long as the sun is up. I mean, that's another thing. Can Goku breathe in
space?
In space?
No, he can't.
See, that's the thing.
Remember when Frieza was blowing up the planet and he was like, he hits the core.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and he's like, I can breathe in space.
You can't.
You can't.
But he got saved by that other race.
Yes.
You know what? That's all. That's probably all that freaking Superman. He's just bear hug him and throw him to space or go up there.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get me wrong though. Like that's a really tough fight.
It's been like one of the questions that's haunted the internet for years. It's always anime fans in a rage against comic book fans over who would win.
Oh, there's actually a video about it. I don't know if you heard about these guys. They actually take versus characters and then they animate them.
I think I was told about that by a friend of ours, a former coworker of ours, Tanaka. He was telling me that there was a website where they'd have like Nightwing versus Gambit and stuff like that. Cool, like just showcasing different fights like that.
Yeah.
Cool, so-
You know, actually, yeah, I remember now. There's different fights. I had Goku and Superman. I seen RoboCop and the Terminator.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. But there's I see them on YouTube though, but like you can probably see them there.
Well, I'm gonna have to look that up then, and we'll get definitive proof. In my opinion, honestly, under the right set of circumstances, I think Goku may be able to win. Dragon Balls are magic. We can just assume everything from the world is at their disposal. He has Dragon Balls. The stick, the magic the staff that he carries on his back, also magic.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
And he can use that as a weapon. Although he doesn't carry with it much in his older years, he does have it still.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I guess if you know what.
If he sharpens the magic stick at kind of point and extends it through Superman's head,
It might. If it's magic and if the magic stick qualifies as that, then maybe he would have a chance.
Okay, let's move on. Then we'll have to check that out, and we'll report back. There's a website called Comics Empire, and there is a period between the instead of .com, it's a .re website, so it's comicsempi.re. Essentially, they are claimed to be offering quality reprints at a very low price. They have reprints of Amazing Fantasy number 15, first appearance of Spider-Man, first was printed in 1962. Action Comics 1, first printed in 1939. And here's the thing that they're doing. Most books are $100 to start, the reprints, but they are made of the same paper and materials. They're cut the same way, and right down to the advertisements in the comic books are they reproduced 100% authentically. So it's a bit of a moral quandary because it doesn't seem to be legal.
Especially they don't own the rights
They don't own the
to
rights
it, then
to
they're
it.
going to get a
And it
lawsuit
seems
really
like-
quickly.
Well, that would be the main problem. They don't have the rights to reprint that. But and not just that. Also, collectors hate that kind of stuff because
I would imagine so.
because let's say you have an original Action Comics
Yeah.
for the first one, and it's valued at whatever amount,
It's a couple million.
couple million. Somebody comes out, hey, I got like 400 of these, and then floods the market.
First of all, it's not worth $3 million anymore.
It's not. The price would go down.
A lot.
Well,
Because if it's
would
printed
it
with the
really
same
go
paper-
down on an original one, though? It's still an original
True,
print. It's still
But if
worth
they're
more.
reproducing them with such meticulous detail that you can't tell them apart, I mean, you'd have to do some kind of testing on it, on the materials,
Yeah.
to actually like a carbon dating or something.
Well, most people would assume if you bring in a
pristine
pristine number 15,
yeah.
that's not going to happen. I don't think most comic books ever are like that. There'd be some damage.
There
to
was
it,
one
so
recently.
It'd be a
There was
sign
a
of just like
Nicolas
okay,
Cage's
something's wrong.
copy of Action Comics went for about $2-3 million,
Uh-huh.
and his was like off-white yellow pages, but almost everything about it was brand new. But yeah, there's only a
Well, that's
handful
another thing,
of
though, right? I mean, that would be one thing of knowing if it's original or not. Like throughout the decades, the paper would actually turn yellow.
Truly, well, some of them do, not all of them do. That's why there was a cover of there was a copy of Action Comics number 1 from 1939 with white pages. It was essentially brand new, no yellowing, nothing. And I guess that's probably the concern, is that they're thinking they're going to reproduce these things, and people are going to either, like you said, flood the market, or try to
Sell them off as originals.
and basically commit, fraud.
Yeah. I think the main problem is they don't have the rights to that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they're probably going to get kicked with that real soon.
I think so too. I'm kind of eager though. I wouldn't mind having myself one of them just for me, not to try to do anything with it, but just to be like, I can. I can look at this when I want to.
Yeah.
Comics
The
are
only
fragile
way-
things.
The only way I could see them doing that is if they get the rights to do it, but then they also have to put
Something on there.
something
saying
that
it's a
says
reprint.
it's a reprint, not original,
Yes.
not.
And I think that's what they're not doing.
Yeah, they should do that. If they don't want to get sued.
Let's move on now. Let's talk about some movies and television stuff. We watched The Interview. We celebrated it. We watched it like we were watching it on the 4th of July, basically. Filled with patriotic feelings and... God bless America at the end of it. So it was actually a really good movie. In case you're wondering, I know you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet, but
It was awful.
Awful in what sense?
It was. It's a James Franco Seth Rogen movie. I expected exactly what I got from it.
That much is true. I mean, here's the thing: if what they're saying wasn't so unpredictable, you would almost be able to follow the beats. Like, oh, it's kind of like Pineapple Express, or it's kind of like This Is the End. It's actually most similar to This Is the End. Like, they have their certain beats that they do hit, but the thing is, the things that they say are completely ridiculous.
The Lord of the Rings references were insane.
Oh, see, that's what I was going to say. In the movie, Franco has like a unhealthy obsession with making like Lord of the Rings comparisons throughout the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Essentially, they work there like he's a TV show host, a very famous one, and Seth Rogen is like the executive producer of the show. And what they want to do is try to. They usually do Hollywood stories that are like, you know, trash stories. Who's sleeping with who got a boob job, this kind of stuff. They want to be taken seriously. So they found out that Kim Jong-un loves their TV show. So they're like, what if we do the interview with him? We'll have the interview of a lifetime. And then the government contacts them, and without spoiling too much, because this is like the first 20 minutes of the movie, you know, they tell him, look, we want you to kill him. So that's the basic premise, but it is exactly what she said. It's a Seth Rogen and James Franco movie. They have great chemistry. It's really funny.
But is it bad?
Is it bad? Like, oh, you know, yeah. Here's the thing.
Was it worth the money you paid for it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's worth the first watch. It's kind of the thing that's like, there's shock value.
Watch it once, and that's all you really need from it.
Yeah, you watch it for the shock value, and like, this isn't going to be culturally relevant a year from now or 2 years from now. Maybe not.
It might just be remembered as the movie that was not shown because of North Korea.
But then all of a sudden was shown, and everywhere. Instead of just in theaters, you could watch it at home on YouTube. You can watch it on...
it's just the thing that happened.
Yeah, exactly. Unless we're in a war with North Korea 2 years from now, then it'll be very relevant. And people will put back to the time that started a war.
So 21st century.
The Korean dictator will be saying, give up Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yeah. You can stop
give
all
up
of
now.
this. Just give them to us. And they did not handle Kim Jong-un in the most positive light. Yeah,
so much positivity going on there in the first place to shine a light on it.
No. Yeah, because there is some brutal scenes in there involving him, and it's kind of like, yeah, he wouldn't want people to see this.
It's less the fact that he's like a dictator is the problem in that movie. It's how everything else they make him off to be. That's what I think people would have a problem with.
I guess I don't want to spoil too much because you're here, and I think that you're going to want to watch this.
Which website did you watch it on? Was it just YouTube, or because I know YouTube is doing it for $5.99.
Yes, YouTube. I would say that it's worth the price. I mean, for one, you can especially if you have a setup where you have like a PS3 or something or PS4, and you can watch it on your TV. Pay for it on there. Watch it on your TV. Watch it at the comfort of your own home. You don't gotta go out. You know, the money still gets to the right people. Just do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'd enjoy it, but like I said, it's probably going to be like a one-time, you know, only thing, and you'll laugh your ass off. And it even has like kind of like a, you know, like their typical heartwarming, like happy ending type thing, because at the end of it and stuff, they wrap it up that way, like they did in This Is the End, where like they go to heaven and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a puppy.
Yeah, but there's a puppy involved. Spoilers, there's a puppy in the movie. All this stuff, though, by the way, part of it is connected to the Sony hacks.
Mm-hmm.
And what they hacked Sony for, what the group was saying was so that they wouldn't release the interview. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But during that, I don't know if you heard I'm pretty sure you heard from the last podcast, if Marvel gets the rights to use Spider-Man in their movie,
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
They're gonna boot out Andrew Garfield. Did you like the recent Spider-Man movies, the reboots?
I have not seen them.
You have not seen them?
Okay, I'll admit something. Here's the thing. I'm not interested in Spider-Man movies anymore.
No?
No. The reason is because I watched the first one. It's okay. I liked it. Sorry. I mean, I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the second one. But then by the third one...
That one was awful.
God. I watched both the first Spider-Man movies at the movie theaters, but then the third one, I didn't go see it, but then I heard there was, such horrible things, and then they crammed in so many bad guys, and then the tap dancing thing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I will not put money in this movie.
That was one of my favorite cinematic scenes of all time. Emo Spider-Man dancing.
Oh
in the
God,
jazz bar.
And then just that phrase right there, emo Spider-Man. I'm not gonna no.
To be more correct, more accurate, it's emo Peter Parker, but basically
it's Spider-Man.
And then they came out, we're gonna do a new Spider-Man. It's like, okay, it's like you're doing way too much Spider-Man. And then that just killed it for me because it's not that maybe probably they're good, the new ones, but it's already too much Spider-Man. It's like I cannot watch more Spider-Man.
Because if they don't make a movie,
this is exactly what I was talking about too, where I said that there's a oversaturation of the comic books market right now in television and movies. They're burning people out by constantly shoving it at them. Like right now, if you're not making movies that are indie as all hell or superhero as all get out, you don't have much of a business in the movies right now.
Well, and also the big studios that should be making superhero movies like Sony, or they're going to lose the characters. That's why they keep
Sony and
making
Fox
superhero
don't want to
movies
lose
like Spider-Man and
yeah.
4 because
and
they don't
X-Men.
want to lose those rights just in case they ever make it. Because I think what they want is they want to make their other superheroes they own successful like they did X-Men. Because X-Men does very well.
Let me put it this way. You know how I feel about that piece of shit Fantastic Four movie.
Yes, I do.
Fucking terrible. And Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, the movies with Andrew Garfield, they're considering rebooting them already within Sony. That's independent of Marvel obtaining them or not. And then the X-Men franchise, I think it's living solely on the fact that they managed to make something different from the comic books that's still special and respectable as its own thing. You know what I mean? Because if they had made Spider-Man, but they're just take him out of that faggy red and blue Spider-Man costume.
The thing is, I have a question about the Spider-Man movies. Are they actually using real stories from the actual comic book?
They are inspired with them. The first Spider-Man movie covers the Lizard. And it covers the origin, which is we've fucking seen him bit by the spider so many times already. The second movie, Death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's
it's a milestone.
That was a brutal scene. I wasn't expecting that. You were.
I wasn't.
I didn't know.
Once I thought she was safe for a couple minutes.
Like I said, I haven't seen neither Spider-Man movie, but I only seen that scene when Gwen Stacy dies. That's brutal.
And in the original 3 movies, here's the thing about it. In 1 and 2, they're not really covering anything that happened in the comics. They're introducing characters the same way, but the stories themselves are independent of the movie. They're completely different. They're independent from the comics. So it's just told their own way. And guess what? They worked. Spider-Man 1 worked. Spider-Man 2 was an improvement upon the original formula. And then Spider-Man 3 was a departure, and depressing one at that.
Yeah.
And then these new ones, they are covering the material, but they're kind of being hampered by Sony. And so it's kind of pick your poison between the two.
I just think that the part where they messed up with Spider-Man is that they're putting way too much focus on the romance part. And they are putting way too many villains in one movie.
I agree.
I would be happy to have some romance in the movie, but it's a comic book movie. It's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
You want to see story told and where there's conflict. How can I put this? I think what Marvel's doing is actually pretty good. That it's not all it's not even I don't think there's any romance.
They're saying that they don't want to emphasize romance. They don't want to show an origin story, and they're even talking about having an adult Peter Parker Spider-Man.
I think that would probably be
I
the
heard
best
about that.
move because, like what Charlie was saying, there's such an immense spider universe. They have a whole comic book based on a spider pig. Like, there's so much that they can do with this
Peter Porker?
franchise that
Peter
they
Porker.
own.
That's I like
yeah,
that.
it's Peter Porker.
I would go see a Peter Porker movie.
I
That
would go
I
see
would
it.
love to see a Peter Porker movie.
I
You know,
think-
that's the only way they can get me to see a Spider-Man movie now.
Yeah, so I think if they
Peter Porker.
they break away from, like you said, from the origin story or the fresh out of high school, early college years, you know, I think there's a lot more in the Spider-Man world that would be appealing, especially to an older audience, because all you have to do is have Spider-Man, and every little 6 to 10-year-old boy is going to want to go see it. And if you make it older, the parents are actually going to want to take them to go see it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, less romance, less villains, a more engaging story. That's all I need from a Spider-Man.
Those are not unreasonable
And
demands.
Spider-Pig.
It's
Yeah.
Spider-Pig.
Or at least have a reference there.
He just has to make a cameo for like one scene.
He plays a big part in Civil War, and should he show up in Captain America movie number 3? It's called Civil War, and he unmasks himself in that story, in front of all the media, in front of J. Jonah Jameson, and he suffers for it big time. He pays a big price for doing that. It leads into the story where Aunt May is murdered. And then Mephisto, he is basically Satan in the Marvel Universe, shows up and offers him a deal. He's like, look, I'm tired of taking people's souls. I've made that deal before. What I want to do is take away people's happiness. So basically, Hugh and Mary Jane are married, right? I can bring Aunt May back to life, but you live a life in which you and Mary Jane never got married, never fall in love, never work out.
And he's conscious of this the whole time?
After they have one night together basically, and then afterwards they go through with it, and he wakes up the next day and they're separated, and he's not conscious of it.
Okay, so it's like they never got together
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, he does lose her.
And he did that all for Aunt May, who's like in her 60s.
That's what I was going to say. It's like,
60s?
dude.
Excuse me?
I have no idea.
Aunt May is in her like 80s or something, 80s or 90s, and now look, she's almost died many, many times in the Marvel Universe. She's always getting sick in the hospital. Someone's kidnapping her, then giving her a heart attack as a byproduct of it. Here's a moral question for you. If you were Peter Parker, knowing your aunt's age, and knowing that you are in this thing, would you do the same thing? Would you save your aunt, or would you lose your marriage? Would you save your aunt and lose your marriage, or would you just let her die? Keep it.
I'd lose the aunt.
I lose the aunt.
You
She
know
lived
what?
a life.
No more pain for her. I'm
should have
living
a
my
good
life
life,
right now. I agree.
It's my turn now. I'm letting me live let me live a life with my wife.
If you live to 80,
Let
you've
Aunt-
done enough.
Aunt May live, and then give her the 5 years she's got left in her life
Yeah.
Was
anyway.
she killed by Mephisto
Tops?
at all?
No,
Or
No,
just,
she
like,
was killed as a
natural-
She was shot.
Because he revealed his secret
His
identity, right?
They were like
Ah.
hiding in a hotel.
Why did they go
And-
after Aunt May instead of Mary Jane?
They tried to shoot him,
Oh, and
and
they got
he
her.
moved, and he got her.
What is this 80-year-old bat doing out of the home in the first place? So she's always dying. She should be like, I'm
I
gonna
know, like,
stay at home all the
hey,
time.
Hey, that's Aunt May you're talking about. Show some respect, damn it.
You're the one that said you'd off your aunt in the same way.
You're calling her an old biddy. All right. So we had some other topics we're going to cover here, and we kind of went over some of them, and I'm going to skip some for the sake of time. But basically, just so you know, you saw the trailer for Resurrection of F, the Frieza, the new Dragon Ball Z movie coming out next year. And yeah, we'll skip that. And scientifically accurate. I saw a couple of videos of that right before we started. Scientifically accurate. It's on a YouTube channel with other creations from Fox, and it's what it sounds like. It's taking your childhood and using science to ruin it.
Yay.
I guess if you have the stomach for it, check it out. But seriously, it's not for the meek-hearted, and it definitely for adults only.
Yes,
People
only
who
for adults.
remember this stuff, because what kid knows anything about Chippendale or freaking DuckTales or
Flintstones.
the Flintstones
SpongeBob.
or SpongeBob?
Oh God.
I'm
We
still
should watch
making
more
episodes right now.
As a matter of fact, we should watch more scientifically accurate videos right after this.
Yes. Why don't we?
I'll move on to my questions for you, though. We've got a couple discussion thingies here. For you personally, Carlos, what's the geekiest thing that you indulge yourself in?
Oh, God.
If you had to say, this is the thing that someone asks you about it, you can chew their ear off, and go on and on and on about it. Like, what's the thing that you feel like you might not tell this to some people out of respect?
I got to think about that one. Let me see. The geekiest thing I've indulged on. Probably anime, maybe.
Anime?
Yeah, but I'm not ashamed of like discussing that. I just if I start talking about it and then somebody doesn't really like it, I'm like, okay, I'll just stop talking about that. But do you mean like watch?
Yeah, well, I mean anything you like. Me and her, we asked her to tell us the same question. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Dungeons and Dragons.
That's so
We
stereotypical
sit around with a table with our friends. We roll dice. We create characters. We act in those characters. We describe the actions of an adventure scenario that we're going through. And yet, it is by far the most amazing thing that I take part in. It's become one of my favorite things to do of all time.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the nerdiest things I said that I watched was Stargate. Because you have to be like way into like sci-fi stuff to like even know of its existence.
It's your Star Trek. It's kind of on par with that sort of sci-fi television show. The kind of thing you'd expect from like sci-fi television station.
Actually, for what sci-fi makes, Stargate was amazingly
good
quality.
Oh, yeah, no. I really
story.
Try not to encourage sci-fi to make any things.
Yeah, they just end up with Croxorus and like versus.
Croxorus.
No, there was. It was over. It was over.
Minus one R.
Croxorus.
Oh my God.
We haven't got your answer. So you believe anime is like maybe the first thing. What are some of your favorites then?
Like I said, I've been watching without even knowing. I've been watching anime all my life because when I was in I used to live in Mexico. We would get cartoons over there like Dragon Ball, Ranma, and over there they call it. I don't know how they call it in English, but here's like Ranma and a half.
Yeah, Ranma and a half.
Where the guy that turns into a girl.
Yeah.
There's another soccer one that it's.
Soccer one.
Yeah, it's an anime. It's a really good. Amazingly, in Mexico, everybody was into that.
It was soccer, huh? Oh my God.
It's called. In English, the translation would be Super Champions. It was Super Campeones.
No, yeah, I never heard of it.
No, oh God, it's like
because nobody over here cares about soccer. That's probably what it was.
That's not true. Actually,
no, there's more interest going. Well, maybe not back in those days. Now there is a growing interest in soccer, but
there's more Hispanics here now. You see,
we're kind of taking over.
Things.
But yeah, it's like back when I was a kid, I didn't know that was Japanese animation, but I've been watching it apparently all my life. And the funniest, like what I told you that one time, is like, Americans used to think that it was just Dragon Ball Z, but I started watching Dragon Ball as a kid when he was a little kid.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
And I saw the entire series from beginning to end, and then I saw Dragon Ball Z from beginning to end. And just as Dragon Ball GT, I was excited to watch that because it was going to begin. I lived here, and then Dragon Ball Z was from the beginning, and I took years.
And it took years to get to the end because they kept fucking replaying it.
Yes.
It would get up to somewhere in Frieza Saga.
Freaking Toonami.
They would, you know what? As a matter of fact, I know where it got. It would get to right where Riku and Vegeta are about to fight, or maybe it even showed the first part of their fight, and then boom, reset.
I hated that.
Oh yeah, it was really bad. Because then next week you're like, I'm waiting to see the next part of the fight. I can't wait. And then you're just like, oh my God, they're back at the beginning of the Frieza saga again.
But by that point I was like, oh, I've already seen this whole thing in Spanish, so.
Oh, there's that for you. So what do they sound like in Spanish, man? I mean, how was that?
Oh God, the trippiest part is the intro.
Well, no, here's the thing. For me, it's not. I saw a lot of them subtitled. So when I hear cha-la, chala, it doesn't sound weird to me. What was the second part? Because they mixed it up with Spanish lyrics, didn't they?
They just took the song and then they put Spanish into it.
What happens after chala, chala?
God, what is it? I forgot, but it makes total sense. It's all in Spanish.
Like how many people...
Yes, calar! Dun, dun, dun. It's funny. It's really funny.
Okay. I got you now.
Oh, I remember the other theme though.
What?
That is that was the Dragon Ball Z. The Dragon Ball one is vamos a buscar las esferas del dragón. Tin tin.
Find those Dragon Balls. Gotta heed the call. That's how the English one went. That was
Yeah,
the first line.
but in Mexico it was like vamos a buscar las esferas del dragón.
Vamos
Tin,
a
tin.
buscar.
Let's go look.
Let's go look.
For the dragon spheres, basically.
For the dragon spheres. I love that they have to make it. Make sure you know it's the spheres.
Because if they call it balls, they would call it bolas. Yeah, everybody would be making fun of that. They changed Dragon Ball to Dragon Spheres because they know how much we changed the
because
subject.
they know what we would think of. They're like, oh, we gotta go find the dragon's bolas.
The dragon's balls.
Literally balls. Oh man.
Is there a different word for actual balls?
Like
children's toys.
Yeah, you still say bola if you're just saying like he's playing with a ball.
Then why?
Or pelota.
Oh, sorry.
But both of those sound bad.
Yeah, no.
No, there's just no way to
get it. They
get
sound bad. It's what we as a culture have made them
Yeah.
into. We were talking about this today. They were trying to ask me like, what's the appropriate way to say someone's butt? And I was like, there's like 50 different words for ass or butt that are all horrible.
Yeah, there's no way to get around it.
None of them sound appropriate.
I can think already trasero, culo, pedorro. But they also work.
No, that's just when you say culo, it just sounds like butthole. That's exactly what you're saying basically. So that's.
But how do you refer to it nicely? Like, what if you need to talk to your grandmother or something? How do you say it nicely?
I think just like the most normal one would be trasero.
Trasero? Yeah, that doesn't even... Oh, we did find that, actually. We typed that into Google Translate. And I was like, that doesn't even sound right to me.
I found that. You're like, I don't... That's wrong. I've never heard that.
Google is wrong.
Forget it. Now does. That's funny. I don't even know where the fuck we started on this. Okay, so that's...
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the geekiest thing I would indulge on.
I would definitely say that's it, considering how long we went on about Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should just be the title of Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Follow-up question. What fandom, what geeky thing, if any, do you despise? And this is for everybody here in the room.
Fandoms?
Fandom?
The Twilight fandom.
That's such an easy one, but yes.
Yeah, that is an easy pick. But, yeah, I agree. Well, I want to hear about this.
The thing is that, like, I guess I did ask you what fandom, because the thing itself is not that annoying. It's like the kind of movie that I can just ignore.
That was like the second part of my point, is that it's not like a particular fandom so much annoys me. Like, it's okay to be a fan of something. It's when everybody in it becomes so obsessive. Where it's like, it's their whole world. Like, if you don't belong to it, like, they're gonna freaking murder you. Like, if you don't like Justin Bieber or One Direction, those girls will literally attack you.
I just want to say that Hoovians are the exact same way. But,
where's my shoe?
They are.
Throw it at you.
Really are. They get oddly defensive. And I was lecturing your brother the other day about this. Back in my day, we could just not care about something. You know what I mean? Like, I would just be like, what's up, bro? Do you like Dragon Ball? And you'd be like, nah, I don't really care for it. I'd be like, cool, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, but like...
What do you mean you don't watch Dragon Ball? I just finished watching the whole thing in 1 week. 24 hours a day. I didn't sleep. I lost hearing in one of my ears. Fuck you if you don't like Dragon Ball.
There's a Dragon Ball stuck in my ear.
He's looking at you and your eyes are like, look like Dragon Balls.
But
He's
the
all
thing
demented.
is, you're not excluded from that. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball and all that. Like, if you say something wrong, you won't get, like, in your face about it. But you'll get touchy about, like, don't insult my thing kind of thing.
It depends on how you're insulting it. Because an intelligent insult is an insult. But petty, childish, something, I can brush that off really easily. And if somebody actually gives me a good argument, I would even pay respect to that and be like, yeah, because I kind of see what you're saying. It's kind of dopey. Especially Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially Dragon Ball. They're all got their silly things. But that's the thing. Part of me understands that liking something, you respect and you enjoy all this, even the stupid things about it.
True.
Even the stupidest right down, like, they always die in Dragon Ball. They always come back to life. Death has literally no meaning. And yes, they spend sometimes, episodes at a time, just standing there charging up and talking about how they're going to battle instead of battling. That's why we didn't make any headway in the Frieza saga. Because they spent 30 episodes, like, talking about, oh, I'm going to destroy you.
You know that soccer anime I was talking about earlier? They do the same thing where like they throw the ball goes in the air, and then the main character is called well, in the Spanish one he's called Oliver. The main character jumps up into the air and he spends like 15 minutes just like jumping in the air. He's like having the inner monologue like, I'm gonna shoot the ball. I have to do it for my team, for my dad, for my mom, for everybody. And then his teammates are like on the side like, oh no, look at him, he's jumping so high. And then some other guy, oh, he's gonna make it, he's gonna do the move. Ja! And then he shoots the ball so hard, and the ball like turns like from like a sphere to like this oblong thing travels.
Yeah, I know exactly the motion you're talking about.
What about you? What do you despise?
Yeah, what do you
My Little Pony. I brought it up earlier.
The bronies? You don't like the bronies?
No. And the thing is partially because I used to think it's because I was like an old man, like I'm getting older, and I'm just like...
It is an old man thing!
I don't understand this thing, so I'm afraid of it. Or I don't understand this thing, so I hate it. But it's not that. I almost understand it. Because what is a fandom? You know, like what's a fandom other than either grown-ups enjoying something the way a child would, or enjoying things that children still do. But that's basically what you can boil a fandom down to. Like, we used to not be able to deal with it so easily when we were younger and into geeky shit, because people are like, grow the fuck up. They looked at us like, what's wrong with you? You're 18, you're 20, you're looking at anime. But just a scant 4, 5, 6 years later, everything's all good now. It's fucking gravy. You can like whatever nerdy, geeky shit you want and just say it's a part of my fandom, man. This is, important to me because of this. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, if you look at a fandom, it's just that. Like, you old people are enjoying things the way that children would. TV shows, movies, books, novels, comic books, actions, figurines, posters, whatever. It's literally taking to something with that, like, kind of exuberance. So I understand bronies, but what the fuck? Why this thing to hone all of that energy onto dressing up like ponies, wearing that stuff all over yourself, stuff that's meant for targeted to primarily little girls. And worse yet, it ties back into the thing earlier, sexualizing them in some cases. No, not all of them, but some of them, and some is enough. One is enough. Once you've seen one man inside a pony, you've seen him.
Oh, God. You saw that? What website were you? No, seriously, what website you?
So what's your opinion on the furries then? Same thing?
Ooh, it's very similar, yes, because they do that shit to Sonic the Hedgehog. And freaking...
Are you just mad that they're doing stuff to beloved characters?
In a way, yes. Yes.
They're raping Sonic the
Hedgehog. The thing is that furries wear
Run, Sonic, run!
Sonic can't run fast enough from this one.
Run from Tails! Run from Tails!
That's not a tail. He's got an extra tail though.
Stop doing the helicopter thing. It doesn't get... Oh God. How popular is that furries thing?
Furry thing, it
seems almost like a subculture within the nerd culture. Like, it's not really like looked upon in any sort of good light. Really.
In the sense that anime is like it's kind of a cult culture in itself.
There's a subculture?
It's another subculture within it, furries. That's why bronies aren't quite furries, but they are in the way they take to their... It's very similar, remarkably similar. And there's nothing saying you can't be a furry in a brony. So yeah, I mean, it's to each their own. At the end of the day, I don't have to see them, like I said earlier. And so, whatever. But at the same time, when I do see them, understand that I am prone to bouts of rage just by seeing these freaking 40-year-old men, 30-year-old men with like rainbow whatever her face all over their shit. And, you know, and one, I don't know, maybe they're happy. That's one way to live a life, you know, like people these days, we were talking about how like some people grow up and they don't have kids anymore. They just they get married or they stay single. They don't even do, you know. And back in our day, it was always like you're growing up and you're getting married and you're having kids. You know, but at some point I feel like this is countercultural in the worst possible way.
I don't know if it...
Because it means nothing. Ultimately, it means nothing. Ultimately, it provides nothing to the community. People are wasting their energies on something that could be positively used elsewhere.
Couldn't you say that about any sort of fandom, any sort of cosplay? What does that add to it? But the enjoyment of the person and the other people around them who see that, it's the same thing for them.
See, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is like, look, you have the freedom to do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt anybody. And, you know, if you want to dress up as a teddy bear and do freaky things with other teddy bear wearing people, that's fine with me. Hey, God bless America. Fine. Fine. Go ahead and do it. I have no problem with that. Because whatever it is that you're doing does not affect me in any way at all.
As long as you don't affect the things I do, it won't affect what you do.
I guess I mean, at that point, I should be happy about that. These guys aren't really in my face. They're really, you know.
I mean, unless they're like doing their freaky teddy bear thing in front of me, like in my room, like, hey, get out of here. That's how I feel about it.
Walking
Like,
door to door.
Hey, glunk. Hey, do you want to see two?
He's already inside the little pony. At your door. And I'm talking about a doll. It was what do you call it? Like a plushie. An anatomically My Little Pony. Anatomically correct. My Little Pony plushie.
Again, if they're into that, fine. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I was saying. So yeah,
I'm not gonna take that from anybody.
They're knocking on my door wearing nothing but, you know, Rainbow Dash or whatever, and
oh god, it's just getting weird.
You call the cops at that point.
They're holding up their holy book of My Little Pony, and they're just like, I want to convert you to my beliefs. You can live like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wow.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I really don't have any problem with fandoms. Just like, no, you do your thing. If you like to doing it, just don't.
Just don't do it all up in my business.
Not even that. Like, I won't hate your fandom if you don't hate my fandom.
Fair enough, because we're all into our stuff that, you know, might be quite...
Everybody has a thing that they're into, and even what you were saying, like, when you grow up or whatever, it's like, you know what? People that say that, oh, grow up, you're an adult already. Like, dude, come on, I want to live my life just, like, working and freaking take care of bills. I mean, I do that stuff already. I work and I take care of bills and I do my things. But what's wrong with having something to just, like, to be a fan of?
Absolutely. It's called pastime. I was talking about this when I defend cosplayers. You know, it's something you do in your free time, man. It helps take away the stress from life.
Yes. Keeps life interesting.
I guess we can leave that on that note. That's actually a fairly positive ending that usually I wouldn't come to. So this is the last podcast of the year, and we're about to call it a night right now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because this is kind of incredible in its own way for me. This is our 21st podcast. We started this back in July, I believe, and it was kind of like, actually we started in June, at the end of June.
Yeah, I was going to say that, June.
It started by me and Stephanie here going to a comic book store in Claremont. It's called a shop called Quest.
Yeah.
I
like that.
It's pretty cool. And it was a great comic book store, and it kind of like lit a fire into my ass for, like, you know, being into the stuff. Like, it's what led me to further that part of my life, because I kind of actually, I thought about it, and I started off January, and I wasn't reading comics at this time. You know, and I loved them. And so it's weird that I kept myself away from something for so long. I brought her with me to Frankenstein's a couple times when I just started picking them up. And then she would get her. She was with me. Her sister was with me, and they'd give input. They were like, "Oh, I like the way that one looks." They're like, "Oh, I like the way that one looks." I didn't think anything of it though. I just left that day. And then that time when we were at a shop called Quest in Claremont, she pointed out Nightcrawler. She's like, "Yeah, I like Nightcrawler." So I was like, "Ding!" You know, the light bulb went off above my head, and I was like, "I should probably buy that comic book then, shouldn't I?" So I grabbed a couple of them. It started with the Nightcrawler comics. We read them together, you know, and then somewhere along that line, I had a drunk night with another friend, and we recorded a podcast of our own that was just us talking. Terrible podcast. We were drunk, and we revealed way too many personal details that I realized I couldn't show that to anybody. I destroyed that podcast. But
I want to hear that.
no. Lots of like, man, I should have been there for you.
The drunken podcast.
Yeah. And other things, it's just like, whoa, keep it to yourself, buddy. But essentially,
I'm a furry.
a couple weeks, I'm a furry. Dress up like Rainbow Dash or whatever.
Let me show you my costume.
I made one for you already.
Why is it connected at the butt?
Think of it like those old-timey horses where one's the front and one's in the back. Except we're only connected at the butt.
What?
Oh, you know, like those Halloween costumes where like you put something on
you
and
put the head up there,
yeah.
and then you put the back. Yeah.
that could have been you.
But then we started doing this one, and then the whole thing with James Viscardi happened. It got taken down. But it really, it's also enriched a certain part of my life to be able to do this, to have a little window into a particular time. So should I decide to go look back and listen to something from like that year, I would kind of know what we're up to around that time. That's why we've expanded past comic books, you know, like we've been talking about all kinds of shit in all different facets of our life, because we're not just geeks, you know what I mean? We're our own things respectively. You know, she's a musician and stuff like that. I'm a pseudo artist, and Carlos is Carlos.
Yes, nobody can take that away from me.
Haven't gotten to know him that well yet. That's the thing. This friendship also came from doing this.
Yes.
So
yes, it did.
this will be
We're
the last
no
one.
longer Facebook pen pals anymore.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the method of life.
I was like the ghost in every podcast.
Did this ruin your idea of it? Is it dimly lit?
Oh no, I freaking love this. I walked in, I don't know if you noticed, I flashed my head.
Oh, you're looking at all stuff on the walls.
Yeah, the main light died.
Well, I appreciate my little lamp. Anyways, it lends a little bit of atmosphere, I think.
Actually, you know what? This is exactly how I pictured it in my head. Remember I told
Yes,
you?
told
I
me.
imagine you and Stephanie like right next to like this, like
Like
a
a light
detective
bulb,
comic, like the light bulb right there, and you're just like talking to a microphone. This is exactly how you guys were talking.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, it's been pretty cool, and I'm like looking forward to another year doing it, because it's going to be pretty crazy when, you know, I can get to like we're on podcast 50 now, you know, we're podcast 60. I'm going to keep it going, and I'm going to try to, in the new year, try to get the podcast exposed more, like on different websites and stuff like that. You know, I've had a Bandcamp page up for days, and I haven't been able to figure out how to upload the podcast on there. But I'm getting to that. And yeah, I just want to keep doing it, and it's especially helped me get in touch with myself, like get in touch with my geek roots, you know, just work the nipples. Oh, we're doing that thing where we're talking about stuff that other people can't see.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
See, I'm doing it because it's hard.
All right, well, that's enough touchy-feely crap. I think we'll call it a night on this one. So, thanks for being here, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Everybody is listening, who will be listening at this time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Feel free to say anything you want, anytime you want. Contact us, comicbookband@yahoo.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, and we will see you next week then.
Next year.
Next year, as a matter of fact. Yes, that's right.
Next week, next year, what's the difference?
It's a whole year.
It's a whole year's difference. Sometimes it felt like
It's
that.
a whole new me.
All right. Well.
Bye.
All right. Carlos,
Bye.
see you later.